Now we got, this is a cracking song. Ballroom dancing made a man of me. It's a very strange subject. You know, I mean, it's witty, but it's dated. You know, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre record. You know, it's a catchy one, and it used to open up side two before the age of CD and all that. I mean, it used to open up side two. It's a good little. It has dated. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because you know it's all right. It's a good song. Pound is sinking, the ruble's rising, the yen is keeping up. Oh, you know, I love this record. Pound is sinking, it's called, and you know, it's a witty song. It's almost you know, lyrics aren't bad for McCartney for a change. You know, he hasn't. You know, there's a bit of a stupid middle eight where we go la 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 la. But you know, apart from that, and also I'm afraid this one's dated badly as well because I mean, you know, you ask a 20-year-old these days, what's the lira? What's the franc? What's the punt? You know what I mean? These have all been replaced by the euro. So he might have said the euro's rising, and then it covers all of Europe nowadays, apart from the pound because the pound's still there. But no, yeah, but it's a good song. Good song. I like it a lot. I like it. 8 out of 10. Oh, Wanderlust. This song. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I love the. It's a beautifully crafted song, and it's one of the best on the album. Sadly, you know, on Heaton, he told me the story. Well, he didn't tell me, but he told YouTube viewers the story about how it come about. You know, it's about a drugs bust or something. And it sort of put me off the song a little bit. I'm trying not to let that interfere with my, you know, what I'm going to say about it, because I just think it's a great song. It's a really good song to listen to. Where did I? And it really, you know, it just works all the way through. Just, you know, just put your mind on the back seat while you're listening to the lyrics, because they're not brilliant. I mean, if you'd done a song about something purposeful, it would have been an all-time masterpiece. As it is, it's one of the most popular ones on the album, and rightly so. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I wanna get it. I wanna get it just in case. Get it with Bob Perkins. What a pointless bunch of crap this is. I mean, you know, doing a duet with a sex pest. I mean, I know the man McCartney's worked with paedophiles before, and you know, famously a year later, the biggest paedophile going. But you know, I mean, there's something that stinks about Bob Perkins, and I don't know why he has dealings with these sort of people. But it's naff, it's dated, it's annoying. It's obviously talking about sex in a sort of, you know, carry-on film sort of way. You know, I mean, you know, imagine Tupac being so coy about the subject. It was like, I want to go it. I'm going to get it. You know, it's pointless. What else can I say about this one? Oh, yeah. Do you know what, though? You know, the fact that they're saying, got to get it. You know, it just reminds me of this. There used to be this comedian called Charlie Drake, and, you know, nobody had heard of him for years. And all of a sudden he turned up on Good Morning Britain. And he said, and Anne Diamond says to him, "Oh, what have you been doing for the last 15 odd years? We haven't seen you, Fraser." He says, "I've been doing it." and the man had nothing to say, so he's just trying to shock. And I ain't got time for all this stupidity. So, what can I give this? 2 out of 10. It deserves nothing out of 10, but I'm going to give it 2 out of 10. Okay, now we're heading for bad territory. The next one's called Be What You See, which is just it's a 30-second pointless. It's 0 out of 10. It's daft. It's rubbish. And then it goes on to a track called Dress Me Up as a Robber. And Macca sounds really gay. He's trying to do that falsetto voice. And he said, "Dress me up." I don't know what he's playing at with this song, but it's very, very annoying, and it's also one of the songs that is dated very badly. It gets a 0 out of 10, and it is officially the worst track on the album. Here you go.
Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony.
Ebony and ivory. Oh my God, this caused a lot of talk. I mean, this track was such a big hit. I mean, it got to #1 in places you've never heard of, Papua New Guinea and Rhodesia and fucking. I mean, I think it was the biggest hit ever in former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. This is a duet with Stevie Wonder. It's not a good move. It wasn't a good move for either of them in the long run, because people tended for years. I don't know if it's still the case or whether this is more or less forgotten now, but years this was McCartney. McCartney the Frog Song, or McCartney Ebony and Ivory. Now these aren't two songs to be remembered by, but that's the way it was. And also Stevie Wonder, the Funkmeister, some brilliant albums. Much respect for the man. Never really gone for the commercial edge, even though he was commercial. This, I think, was his first #1, certainly in the UK. And man, you know what I mean. And also, it was a nail in his coffin, because a year later, he also did another commercial track called "I Just Called to Say I Love You." And man, he went to Wembley afterwards, and the stadium was half empty. And it was because he'd sold out. He just sort of said to himself, I'm going to go for the Yankee dollar. I want a #1. I want a couple of #1s. Bollocks. No, I'm going to forget everything I've written about in the past, all the great stuff. So it was bad news for him, really. I don't think his career ever recovered afterwards. But there you go. Anyway, more on the McCartney side of this hit. Now, this was a monster. Well, the background behind it was there were riots. Black people in London and Toxteth in Liverpool were going crazy because they felt they was getting a bad deal for being black. Now, this led to all kinds of trouble in the cities. Right, I think a policeman got his head chopped off. And anyway, I mean, the bottom line was a single came out of the specials called Ghost Town. Now, that really captured, it was a spooky, scary song. It was coming like a ghost town. And it really hit it on the head, the feeling at the time. And it was cool. Then McCartney's response to the riots was to release this. Out like piano keys, like, having racial issues. So basically what he's trying to tell us is we should all be like pianos. Now, I see what he's trying to do, but, I'll come back to this in a minute, I will. It was derided as saccharine, and like I said, you know, it was loved and hated. I mean, people take this out of it so much now, but no, it's a good song. I like it. I mean, it's so corny, but it's, you can't help it. You know, it's heart's in the right place, and he's trying. You know, every time he enters into the political arena, he sort of fucks up a little bit. McCartney, you know, he's so used to eating rye bread and fucking vegetarian burgers. You know, he's lost touch with the real world a little bit, and this was just, you know, a byproduct of that. But it's like I said, you know, I like it. You know, a lot of people don't like it now, but what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? No, I'm going to give it. What shall I give it? What shall I give it?
It's a 10 out of 10.
Why not? I mean, it's a defining moment. Defining moment for Macca. And there you go. Bonus time, people. Get ready. There's not a lot of bonus material. It's just a couple of B-sides, really. B-side to Ebony and Ivory was called Rain Clouds. Now, this was written partly with Denny Lane before McCartney told him to sling his hook. And it's all right. Like I said, you know, you've got to kind of judge B-sides a little bit differently. Because by all rights, a B-side should be a bunch of shit. It's got a tune. So, on that, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. You know, I can't give it any lower.
Give me your number, I'll give you rain.
Give me your number, I'll give you rain. Another B-side. This is the B-side. Take it away. And not a lot to be said. Same as Rain Clouds. It's a B-side. What do you expect? It's a little bit better than Rain Clouds, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Okay, so what's left to say about the album, really? I mean, this was a high point for McCartney, and he had a chance in his 40s, or yeah, just the late 30s, early 40s. He had a chance to change everything. Unfortunately, after this, he really let himself down, and types of peace, give my regards, press to play. Finished him off, and you know, and it also started this kind of, it's a backlash. And we always saw Paul McCartney before this album as a kind of a nice guy, you know, all right, mate, all right. No, and we thought, you know, there was a simplicity about the man that we liked. After this album, all this nastiness about John started coming out, this, you know, one-upmanship. John wrote a book about poems, I'm going to write a book about poems. John did some painting and drawing, I'm going to do some painting and drawing. John did rock and roll album, I'm going to do a better one, I'm going to do, and I'm going to top him. Guess what, I did that record, I wrote this record, and this is 90% mine. And you know what I mean, he was trying to destroy John's myth, and he should have left well alone. I mean, we respected them both. After this, you know, McCartney's reputation really suffered, and he's still living with it today. You know, and we saw him for the arsehole that he really is, and it's a sad thing because he should have held back and just carried on making albums like this. But you know, it did go downhill. And on that sorry note, I'm going to give this album, because it was a high point, and I'm going to give this album 9 out of 10. That's the best score yet, I think.